and then, convincing all the salespeople that actually you guys are, sales guys, you're not marketing guys. So they also took about 3 to 4 months to understand that actually they were sales guys and not marketing guys. Like they've been told all throughout their life for the past almost 10, 12 years. And then when the marketing team came in, they understood that what is marketing, what is sales, and how does branding help both marketing and sales. And then on, things went very well. And the project was, very successfully done and handed over with all the teams in place with their roles and responsibilities. And they're delivering very well, as I understand, from the follow-ups and calls that we have. So if you're looking at a sales which is plateauing a large extent and you have only a group of people, it might be a problem of not having marketing, right? But if you're having a marketing and a sales team and still the sales is not happening, the reason could be the branding message is probably not going through. This happens when many times the salespeople are asked about quality, they're asked about the organization, they've asked about the values the organization has got, then it's a branding problem. And if the branding is very good and the sales is very good, if the marketing is weak, then many times you understand because the salespeople have nothing else to talk other than good morning and thank you for what you have done. And we request you to please, continue what you're doing and buy because I'm coming and meeting you regularly. Then you know that there is no marketing happening because there is no communication other than that to deliver. And many times it happens, it might sound very simple, but many times when you go, the only thing you need to do is a good morning and thank you for what you've been doing so far. And please continue to do this. Right? So that means there is a gap in the marketing. So if all of us are on the same page and we have reached a stage where we have got excess production or we are very confident that we can produce, this is the best product that we're producing and we need to derive higher volumes from our products other than, selling them at very, very small rates. And many organizations have become huge. In fact, there are some manufacturing organizations whom I know of. There is one which produces 1/10 of what is sold in India, right, in pharmaceutical industry. But what is the profit or the turnover that they make is very minuscule compared to the entire pharmaceutical industry, which is about, 2.4 lakh crores today. And the turnover of the said organization might be about 1,000 crores. So you can understand, what is the huge difference. And so they actually started a company. And I think that company has got so many divisions today because they manufacture almost everything under the sun. And the profit they're making there is much, much more than what they're doing with a much, much larger effort and a much, much larger workforce which they employ for the manufacturing. I think the profit from the marketing team, the marketing, branding, and sales team, so is driving the revenues as well as helping them invest more into the manufacturing process, making them a much bigger, organization and a much more effective organization that doesn't have to work on very thin margins. They can invest a lot of money in their R&D and come up with a lot of innovations because they're sure they can derive more value from those innovations through their own team, whom they have to actually market and sell those products in the field. So once you have reached that particular area, it's a time to reach out to someone who can help you, guide you through and ensure that things happen. And so that, you can reach a certain different level, which you've always dreamt of, but have not achieved so far.
Understood, sir. So thank you so much. So, sir, before ending this, I just want to ask you one small thing. Like, after this video, I mean, what is one simple change SMEs can implement immediately after watching this? So basically, what you have mentioned to summarize it, a business needs clarity on where the gap actually is before acting. So that is one of the points which SMEs also need to understand. So now, post this, after watching this, what is that one simple change they can implement immediately?
Yeah. So basically, you need to understand that a lot of these manufacturing organizations have been, for example, you take an example of MCure, for instance. You take an example of Dr. Reddy's Laboratories. All these companies started as third-party manufacturers, right? They were manufacturing for huge multinationals. At one point of time, they understand that beyond this, there is a world. And in that world, I can make my name. And as long as I'm manufacturing, I'm a behind the scenes player. So if I want to come in the front of this world and you want everyone in the world to know me, at the same time, I earn 10x, 20x the revenue, so that, I can fund my all my dreams in manufacturing also. That is the time when they need to think they'll have to move into market, of ensuring their products are in the market. So that is the point, where they should start looking for, starting a marketing and all these things. Once they're very confident about their processes and they believe they have the capacity to actually do, and they want to be in a different league. It's a question of ambition. Like for example, Divi's Labs, I was telling you, is as ambition is only to be a manufacturing company. They don't want to get into marketing. They don't want to get into anything. They just want to be very good in exports and all that. But today, suppose, for example, the Iraq war has come in. Their revenues are hit solidly. US, Trump has come and sat for 4 years. The revenues are hit solidly. They have a huge unutilized capacity. What are they going to do? So that's the time. And then suddenly they decide, okay, now I need to go to domestic market. How will they do that? Because they don't have the expertise. They don't have any idea as to how it's to be done. So they need to go to people who have done it and who know how to do it and who will help them to do it.
True, sir.
Yeah.
And one more small question here. So many of the companies might have the budget to have separate teams for marketing, sales, and branding. So
Yes.
for companies that might have limited budget where they can
Hmm.
spend on the marketing or be it ads or anything traditional online or
Yeah.
offline marketing, but then how about having three different teams with limited budget, or can one
Hmm.
team handle this with some kind of strategies?
So what generally happens is that, it's all a function. See, branding does not require too many people. So you need branding in place if you want to sell your corporate entity as
Yes.
yourself as a corporate entity. Marketing again is not highly people intensive. So generally what happens is the ratio of people in the field decides the number of people in marketing and branding. Many times you start with a small branding and a marketing team. Then you start with a reasonably sized sales team. And then, as your sales team keeps on increasing, revenues keep on coming, your back office needs to expand. Many times, that does not keep pace. Either the back office is top heavy, which is a very rarity, because back office is the one that is least funded and also the least, has got the least budget. The sales team keeps expanding, but the back office doesn't, which means the marketing doesn't. The admin, the HR, everyone are stretched to the extent that things don't happen. And then, things become a bit of a mess. That is why everyone says, what is the first thing? The face on the ground. I put in salespeople. Right? Then what should I do about marketing? Okay, we put one or two guys, who will do something. They've got to show something. Then you realize that it is not working. Then you go for quality, and then the this thing happens. So generally, you always find it is a sales force that is recruited first. Ideally, it should be other way around. You should start with the branding, because if you have a good branding, you will get good people to join you both in marketing as well as in sales. So it should actually be top down, but many times it is bottoms up.
Understood, sir. So thank you so much for your valuable time and
Yeah,
for
pleasure.
valuable insights. So
Yeah,
hopefully, yes, this SMEs will understand the basics of these things and also the minor differences between marketing, sales, and branding.
yeah,
And thank you so much for
yeah,
giving
pleasure.
your time to us. Yeah, thank you
Pleasure.
so much, sir. Yeah,
Thank you, Lalita. Have a
yes,
good day.
you too, sir.
Tejeshwar, you too. Any questions, Tejeshwar?
No questions. Thank you so much. It was a learning experience for me as well.
Okay,
No questions as of now,
right.
but just thankful and
You can
grateful.
always share your opinion, comments.
Yes, I would, sir. I certainly would, and if possible, I would certainly get in touch in the near future.
Sure, sure. Anytime.
Thank you so
Right?
much, sir. Thank you.
Okay, bye bye.
Okay, bye bye.
And